All right. How are you? How are you? Are you ill? Are you ill? And she will be loved. Why am I excited? Let me tell you why. After teasing it for almost a year, after edging everyone about this, I've been teasing this for a year. The ranking, the tournament of the hottest Disney animals. And you know what? Now that you're here, and I don't have to be all bloody PC out there just to get you here, because the title might have said the hottest Disney animals ranked tournament or whatever. But you know what this really is? It's the most fuckable. Is they fuckable? That's the question we're asking these Disney animals today. Look, the CCF, let me tell you a bit about the CCF community, right? Out there, right? And this is what I'm saying. Once you're in here on this podcast, once I have your eyes here, I don't need to be fucking showbiz fucking, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I don't need to be as clean. I can be, the dirt is here. And it can be dirty. And we are going to get dirty. We're going to be playing around the bloody mud. We're going to be fucking playing pinning each other like Simba and Nala when they grew up. Not when they were kids. I wasn't into that one. It's different when there's a camera here. Listen. The CCF community, the cartoon cat fuckers community. Out there, when I'm all bloody 6 o'clock show, when I'm out there being bloody showbiz, right? I might be calling it the Cartoon Cat Friends. If you see me on a 6 o'clock show, I'll be like, oh, well, it's people who are romantically attracted to I'm talking about people who want to fuck these animals in VR headsets. You know what I mean? I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want, but I love them. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I probably even just want to hug them, right? It's the same thing where I just saw these Disney animals when I was a child, and I'm like, I want these. And I don't know what it is, what I want. But I'm romantically connected to some of them, right? So the CCF community. Let me tell you about the CCF community. The Cartoon Cat Fuckers, as we're called here, out there, just to kind of save face so we don't mess up the algorithms, we're called the Cartoon Cat Friends. Similarly, hit show, shit show, all that stuff. Look, once you're over here, this is the dirt, right? This is the fucking Motley Crue autobiography, The Dirt. I don't know if you've ever seen or read the book. They're all fucking depraved. Hey, you can't... Anyway, we're not getting into that now. We're not getting into that. Although, speaking of Motley Crue, I was remembering there when Pamela Anderson was going out with Tommy Lee from Motley Crue, and everyone's like, everyone fancied Pamela Anderson. Obviously, this is a real life woman. Everyone fancied Pamela Anderson. Although I'd say Lola Bunny would be a direct, you know, she would have been going for. Anyway, we're not talking about Lola yet. We can't really talk about Lola on this episode as much as people, the thirstiest, you boys, you nasty little boys, getting into my DMs about Lola Bunny. And look, she's up there. She is S level. She is God level cartoon. And this is not just about the cats as well. Hang on, I'm jumping all over the place, right? Like a bloody bunny. But listen, what was I saying there? Pamela Anderson, when she was going out with Tommy Lee, everyone was like, remember someone told me in school, being like, oh, you know you're one from Baywatch. Well, we knew her from like Barbed Wire and everything, you know. Of course you knew who Pamela Anderson was. You just knew, right? You just knew. Playboy, right? And they were like, oh, do you hear Pamela Anderson's done a sex tape with Tommy Lee? And I'm like, it's Tommy Lee Jones. It's Tommy Lee Jones. Will you stop? Why does everyone keep saying Tom? Can you please finish his name? She's in a sex video with Tommy Lee Jones from Batman Forever. Why can't everyone just get this through their thick skulls? Your man from The Fugitive somehow has got Pamela Anderson and they've made a sex tape on a bow, right? And I know he doesn't drum. What was wrong? I couldn't wrap my head around the fact there was another guy called Tommy Lee who was not Tommy Lee Jones. Anyway, the CCF community started with the love of cats. Okay, but this it's kind of I was about to liken it to LGBTQA, but I'm not even going to go into that kind of part. That's dumb part, right? It's not that, right? That's not what this is. We will accept. We're kind of willing to kind of cast a wider net into cartoon animals. You know, what started with a love of cats is essentially part of the whole animal sphere. The CCF community, the Cartoon Cat Fuckers community. This doesn't make any sense to anyone. This doesn't make any sense to anyone. What am I talking about? The CCF community was formed out of reluctance, I'd have to say. I was happy to die without anyone knowing my sexual proclivities towards cartoon cats, right? Or the rest of the animals. However, when John Favreau, my peer, fellow video maker like myself, he likes a good chat as well. Do you know, I think we get on really well. Fellow Star Wars fan peer. When he was making The Lion King, the live-action Lion King, which essentially was CG animals that they put in VR and kind of ran around, tried to shoot them like a David Attenborough documentary. Incredible tech. Looked great. Was Nala specifically attractive? I'm not explaining this right. They did a live action thing, right? But what they did in doing that is they disgraced the hottest cat to ever grace our silver screens, Nala the lioness. And they did her dirty. They even got, fellow stunning woman, Beyonce, to do the voice. And they did her dirty. They made her just look. I couldn't even tell if it looked like a guy, right? All animals, unless they have eyelashes, look like guys to me, right? That makes me a chauvinist? Then I'm a bloody chauvinist. If a dog walks into a room, like, look at this guy. Hey, what's his name? Same with a cat. And I know a lot of people look at a cat and they think, oh, what's her name? A cat walks in, like, oh, what's his name? Unless it's like bling, 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 and big red lips on an actual animal, then I will think it's a man. Does this make sense? So when Nala was, so when they rolled out this new Nala, right? I was up in arms about it. And my wife was very supportive of it. She's like, you need to do this. You need to say something about this, right? I've never had her get involved. This is a private thing. I've never had her dress up as like a cat or anything like that, right? I'm only kind of like I'm leaning into this. I'm not acting like that. No, I'm leaning into this. So my wife was very supportive of me. She gave me the old Schofield. She gave me the Schofield treatment. She was like, and no one has been more supportive in this endeavor to bring awareness for people who also fancy cartoon animals. She's been so supportive of this, and she says, "Look, you need to do this." So I went on Instagram. I got onto bloody Bob Iger in Disney, and I said, "Bob, bro, my peer. I also run a business, Tony Can't Walk Comedy. I do t-shirts. You're a peer. You're a peer, fellow businessman. Can I speak to you on a business to business level? You are not benefiting us, the community, and Disney as a whole, by releasing this movie in its unedited state, where Nala is just a fucking dime a dozen lioness you'd find on any Serengeti, right? You need to give her lovely eyes. You need to give her nice little lips. Okay? You need to... When Simba finally pins... I'm sorry for being so aggressive there. Nala. And she gives her that look. Can you feel... We need to see that. Anyway, they did it. Great version. You had Donald Glover. You had Beyonce. But when it came down to it, she just looked like a fucking cat. You took away the attraction. You took away the cartoon. You took away the features. And when I was talking about this online, because they didn't end up going with my edited version, I sent them proof after proof. I can try and find some of the drawings I did to improve Nala. They ignored me. And you, phenomenal fellow members of the CCF community, came out in your droves to support. I feel like this is actually like a manifesto video that will be shown in the news when I die. I'm not trying, this is not a militant organization, just to be clear, okay? It's just a social club for people. Anyway, we'll get into that. So what started off is that it turned out there was a lot more people out there than I thought. People came out there, it's like, I totally agree. This Nala is the least fuckable thing I've ever seen. And I have loads of the least fuckable thing I've ever seen, people were saying to me. What is this? This woman comes to me, she goes tears in her eyes. I can't do Donald Trump. Hang on. He's the least fuckable thing. Nala's the least... Man, I don't feel comfortable doing it with a video here. Anyway, people were coming to me and saying that they felt the same way. That Nala was not attractive. And basically, I'm repeating myself. Basically, we came together and we realized there was a lot more people out there. And we have a very simple manifesto. Make all cartoon animals fuckable, right? And in terms of policy, we would like you, Micheál Martin, you goddamn trash bag, okay? You bloody bin. We want you to be releasing VR headsets into every home like you did the iodine tablets, and give us software so we can make our own VR cat orgies. I don't know what I'm talking about. Look, it doesn't matter. Basically, this is a Cartoon Cat Fuckers podcast. We have taken over this podcast, this very popular podcast, to talk about the most fuckable Disney animals. It's not just going to be cats, and it's not going to be anything outside of Disney. Lola Bunny was a big one, right? The fucking Caramel Bunny, who seems Disney because of the swirl of Cadbury's. Does that make sense? The swirl of the Cadbury's logo looks like Disney. So I was always like, that's Disney. But it's not. And look, we've a lot to get into here. We've a lot to get into here. Because we are now going to be... This is going to be a four-part podcast. This whole setup is... I'm going to do this 4 times, okay? Because we have 32 combatants in this, what I'm calling the most fuckable Disney animals. Fuck off. And look, this is not going to be some... I'm not going. This is not... If you're into, like, movie trivia, if you're into, like, genuine, like, Disney animation history and lore, this is not for you. I'm essentially going to be getting 2 Disney animals, having done no research, and I'll tell you honestly who can fucking get it. Who I give it to. That's the whole... I'm coming at this with such a high energy, right? I'm going to calm down here, right? I'm going to calm down here. In all seriousness, look, I'm parking this thing for a second, okay? There's something about when you're growing up and you're just, you're a bit too young to be watching, non-animated shows. You're watching cartoons, you're growing up, and then you just kind of... And then there's something you just see in one of the characters. They're normally animals because it's meant to be all cutesy. It's not like maybe later on you had things like Recess and Kim Possible and all this stuff. But most of these things were animals. And then what happens is you have one of the animals being really nice to one of the other ones, and maybe one of them has nice eyelashes. And it's a girl. And you're like, I like her, Or it's a boy and he's got a little tuft of hair. He's like a normal fox, but he's got a tuft of hair. And you fancy that tuft of hair for some reason. And he's funny. He's so funny. And you're like, and genuinely, I do think some of the attractions that I had in early cartoons has shaped, has shaped the rest of my life, in who I go for. I think in general, right, Irish women, have very cat-like features, big faces. Irish women have big faces, right, and they have quite feline-like features. They have a kind of feline brow. They look, to be perfectly honest, like something coming out of the island of Dr. Moreau half the time. The cat-like features, a little cat-like little skinny top lip. Do you know what I mean? Like that's why are you trying to be fucking Kim Kardashian? Do you know what I mean? Don't be doing that to your lips. You have a skinny top lip. I like that. I don't know to tell you what to do. What are we talking about? Is this still recording? Actually, hang on. Right, yeah, I've been shiting on. Listen, I've been shiting on. But I think my earliest crush was of course the CCF logo Tootsie Galore. I'm going to put that logo somewhere. Tootsie Galore, who was the hot bird cat, the Tomcat. I don't know if that's his official name. Do you remember they started fucking talking? Do you remember that? Tom and Jerry in the Tom and Jerry movie, and they're talking to each other. I hated that so much. I hate when people do that. Fallout does that a lot as well. Well, not a lot. Fallout 3 to Fallout 4, I liked having a non-speaking protagonist, and then there's a speaking protagonist. Like, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean? Similarly, I didn't like when Tom and Jerry were speaking to each other. But Tootsie Galore, she was a hot bird hanging out on the beach. She was there on the balcony. Tom's playing the stand-up bass, trying to get her to win her over. And I was like, she's drawn for a specific reason to be the object of the protagonist's affection. You'll find that a lot in these. They're drawn in a certain way with the eyeshadow and the eyelashes that even now I'm such a sucker for glamour. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, Snooki from Jersey Shore. I think she's beautiful. I think she's gorgeous. But I think they're all gorgeous. I do not see, even if it's a fucking eyelash hanging off and lips done to the side, even if it's like, you know, where Marge gets shot with the makeup gone, I'm just so like you did it. Great job. Any glamour. I'm like, beautiful. You look beautiful. I'm so dumb. Do you know what I mean? Not to say that you're dumb to find anyone attractive, but you know what I mean? So when they're kind of drawn in this way to accentuate these features, I'm a sucker for it. So Tootsie Galore was one of them. Lola Bunny, of course, but Lola Bunny we're going to talk about a little bit more. I think Lola Bunny might even have to get some sort of entry into this competition. She was featured so much. She can't win a fucking most fuckable Disney animals, but you know what I mean. Although a lot of people, right, who were commenting, because I asked for your input, and I have a couple of stories here from people who were fancied animals growing up. Fancied cartoon animals. Got to specify, be very, very clear. Fancied cartoon animals. But a lot of people just kind of saying, oh my God, like, and I'm like, do you have any, you know, Disney animals, you know, Lola Bunny, man, #1, Disney animal. Like the Looney Tunes have a Warner Brothers logo. It's like, it reminds me of when you have like, do you ever like overhear a conversation and you know someone's wrong and you don't want to be rude, you know? Being like, oh man, that new Mario game looks unreal. Oh, do you think Mario's going to be out for the PlayStation? And they're like, yeah, man, it has to be. The next Mario, fucking yeah, man, it's so popular, it has to be out for PlayStation. It's only a matter of time until it's like, and you're just like, no, I don't think. I think it's because it's a Nintendo game. I don't think it's probably going to be out for. No, man, but it's really popular. No, I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that Mario's coming out for the PlayStation, and you're just like, how do you be? I end up, and I'm so shy. I end up in. You're probably right. Actually, maybe I misread. Maybe Mario is maybe the one icon that the Nintendo have and have held on to for the last 30 years. They're just going to give up and give to the biggest rival. Maybe that is the case. Maybe I misread that. Maybe I swept really fast on Eurogamer and I missed the news that Mario was coming to PlayStation. You know, I want to be like, no, you're wrong. With the greatest respect, mate, I know you don't know. So Lola Bunny, anyway, to the greatest respect, everyone who suggested Lola Bunny is not a Disney animal. It's a Warner Brothers creature. But anyway, look, we'll get into this. Let's fucking get into it, right? And again, this is not film expert. This is not film expert. This is not me having done any research. Well, you know, I know a lot of these animals. I compiled this whole thing with the help, I should say, of Ben Clifford. Ben, thank you very much. Ben Clifford on the other podcast is the keeper of the Premier Crypt. He helps us update and keep a tally of all the scores in the monster ranking over on Sexy Beasts, my other podcast. And when I put the feelers out months ago that I was looking to do a most fuckable Disney animals episode, he compiled a list of 32. I changed it a little bit. He also gave us some good ideas of how, if it was kind of tie-break situation, we could kind of show how one could get over the other. So Ben Clifford, thank you very much. If you would like to follow his podcast and his live stream, he does a podcast called Homebrew Quest. If you like D&D, it's a live D&D. Him and his pals, they get on, they drink booze, and they play D&D. And it's all based on kind of Irish mythology, and a lot of the character names and the places are based on cool craft beer names. It's fun. I was on it. Anyway, look, let's get what's Darkwing Duck again? Let's get dangerous. When there's trouble, you call DW. Hang on, talk amongst yourselves there for a second. I thought I had this here. Round 1. So this is round 1, part 1 of round 1. Part 2 will be over on the Patreon, but don't worry if you're not a Patreon subscriber. If you're not willing to be one, don't you worry about that, because there's going to be the quarterfinals, so you're going to see who gets through next week anyway. So don't worry about that. This is, yes, indeed, a 4-parter in the most fuckable Disney animals. Okay. Round 1. You got Roxanne from a Goofy movie and Flounder from Little Mermaid. Listen, let me tell you this. Well, what's interesting about this, I should just say, is you've got Roxanne, who is technically a dog. But believe you me, she's anything but. And you got Flounder, which is an actual fish. Look, Flounder, bro. I don't even know how you got in here. You and your fucking schnoz, okay? You gotta have a fucking schnoz that big to be fucking brown nosing Ariel. She's never gonna fuck you, bro. She's never gonna fuck you. You're a fish. Even though I suppose, technically, because she's a mermaid, you'd be more likely to be able to actually ride her than a human would. He'd put his little, well, no, he would, she would lay the eggs, and he'd just come by like, fucking skeet, skeet, skeet. He would, that's how they'd have sex. Look, I don't even know. Well, I'll tell you, because I kind of want to look at who the kind of human counterpart. So Roxanne is the love interest of Max Goof from a Goofy movie. In this, look, Roxanne is a hot bird. She's a hot bird. Technically a dog. Flounder is just so awful. He is. I honestly, do you not even, if you like Flounder, forget about finding him attractive, not want to kill him. Smash his head. Look at he's all head. I want to kill him and eat him. Like, he makes me want to kill fish. You know? Anyway, I think if they were the human counterparts, Roxanne would be kind of a Molly Ringwald, kind of Emma Stone kind of character. And Flounder would be kind of like either not Anthony Michael Hall from Breakfast Club. I would say John Cryer in Pretty in Pink. The one that Anthony Michael Hall refused to do. Where he's just kind of following her around, being a fucking, like, Flounder seems like the sort of guy who would be there, drop of a hat, when Ariel gets dumped by fucking what's his name, and then would try and like lay it on thick, trying to like you know, don't worry, you know, little soft boy. Flounder's a little soft boy. I'm not having a go. Look, I don't know how Flounder got in here. He doesn't belong in here. Roxanne is arguably S tier god level dog Dampy. Roxanne, you've made it through to the next round. Congratulations. Okay, next up, Lady Cluck from Robin Hood and the dog from Beauty and the Beast. At least I assume he's a dog. Well, listen, Robin Hood is going to feature quite a lot in this episode. It has a lot of... It's got that perfect kind of furry archetype where it's kind of like the up on the hind legs, you know, wears clothes, has a big personality in the face. They're all attractive. They've got nice eyelashes if you're a girl. And Lady Cluck, Ben hadn't put in, you know, Maid Marian and Robin Hood, they're becoming up later on. Lady Cluck, for me, would be up there for the cleavage. There is a cleavage on show. She gives me a sort of Caroline Quinton kind of vibe, you know? Not the standard, but beautiful, you know, and cool. And Scottish. So she's cool. I like her. I fancy her. And I'd eat her. Because she's a chicken. So, you know? So I like her. So, Lady Cluck from Robin Hood against the dog from Beauty and the Beast, or at least I assume he's a dog. Of course, Beast. Okay, Beast. I had a lot of thirsty ladies getting in touch, not of course with me, that never happens, but getting in touch about Beast. And the disappointment, a few gay men as well, that when Beast turned to this scrawny weakling of Prince Adam, you know, because he's just kind of hulking, furry, cuddly. I'd like to get spooned by the guy. He seems, you know, and I don't think he'd killed. You know what I mean? I do think he's a bit of a. Is there a scene or something where he has to have a wash and his breath isn't very nice? I think he's dirty. He probably smells like a wet dog, and I don't like that. You know, like, you know, houses. You go into a house and be like, "There's a dog here." I haven't even seen the dog yet. I imagine he has that whole thing going on around him. And does he have a little lipstick? You know? And I don't like his nose, but he's handsome. Look, I would, if you're looking at a good relationship here, in terms of the passion, you've got it with the Beast. In terms of good communication, I don't think Beast is a strong communicator. I have to give it to Lady Cluck. She was always very clear with Maid Marian. In terms of trust, equal. Beast, again, sacrifices himself to become a beast to let Belle go. Lady Cluck, you know, she's always been, I don't know what I'm fucking talking about. Look, it's Beast. You got to give it to Beast. I'm realising now I should have done some some research into this, because no, this is it. This is it for the next hour. Who I'd give it to. I love, and Lady Cluck as well. She does a thing where she kind of pulls up her skirt and you can see her fucking knickers, man. Like this chicken, and you could eat her. This is the whole thing, like Flounder. But I'd hate eat him. I would joyously eat Lady Cluck, and she's got a sexier name. Also, I think the male counterpart for Beast would be Idris Elba. You know, that's the kind of big dick energy I'm getting off Beast. Big lipstick energy that I'm getting off Beast. But look, I gotta give it to Beast. He's a hunkier guy. He's a sexy guy. As long as he stays a Beast and doesn't turn into a scrawny little Prince Adam, which makes it very interesting what's happening in the next round. That means that Roxanne from the Goofy movie is taking on the fucking Beast in the next step. That is a very exciting turn of events. Okay, next up, we got Judy Hoops, the little bunny, the little cunning. Trying to find this is just dirt versus the fucking penguins from Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins penguins. Couple of good looking penguins in this group. The ones dancing with fucking Dick Van Dyke. Hello, Mary Poppins. Where you getting them penguins from? You know, he does that Cockney accent. This one isn't necessarily as exciting, but look, Judy Hoops, she's hot. Judy Hoops is hot. If I had been born in a different time, I would have had a Judy Hoops teddy that I would have kissed to sleep. Okay? She doesn't get to feature in this, but I also had a crush on Babs Bunny from Tiny Toons. She doesn't get to feature in this ep because this is Disney. Judy Hoops is the cop from Zootopia. Underrated flick. I think it actually is probably rated as high, but like these things sweep along. You get your fucking Frozens and your Frozen 2 and your Moanas, and everyone's overlooking Zootopia, which is fucking unbelievable. It's a proper buddy cop drama, but it's all animals. And as well, Jason Bateman's Fox character in that, he could get it as well, but he doesn't quite make the cut here. Now the penguins, these are dressed where you're kind of like, what they got under them fucking feathers? Do you know what I mean? I've always wanted to make love to a penguin. I'd say it's just like a hot water bottle. You know when you cartoon penguin, just for the sake. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to look. None of this is me. You know what I mean. None of this is me. I mean, despite the CCF chants, which I have no control over, CCF, when the cat goes meow, molester. I'm not condoning molesting anything. This would all be consenting. But when you watch the March of the Penguins and he has a little leg and you see that, it looks so warm in there. It just looks so warm in there in the penguin. I would never want to do anything to it. In this reality, maybe, but look, who's going to win? All right, Judy Hoops or the penguins? Look, penguins, you're hot, you're good looking, you're like One Direction, except I think some of you are girls. Some of you are pretty, like Harry Styles. But Judy Hoops, she's giving me kind of, Kristen Bell kind of vibes, you know what I mean? Not that she, not a huge fan of Kristen, but, I suppose, fellow peer actor, Kristen Bell. Judy Hoops, I have a thing for bunnies, cartoon bunnies. So, Judy Hops. I keep saying Judy Hoops. Judy Hops, because you're a hopping bunny. Even fucking Russell Brand when he was the bunny. What was that? That was insane that he did that film. Anyway, penguins, I'm so sorry, but you're out to fucking... Actually, yeah, what happens? Okay, so this is what happens to the animals that don't get it, right? Similar to what we did in the Eurovision. Flounder, I say, Flounder, you didn't get through. Your head already looks like you got mashed in with a frying pan. Well, how about we go for seconds? And I just take him out of water and I watch him. That's what I do. Lady Cluck, I of course spatchcock and have a whole meal. It'd be lovely. And eat her. And the penguins, I want to make a kind of a tuxedo out of them. See how they like it. Since they're wearing a tuxedo. Okay, next up. Okay. we have got Bagheera from Jungle Book versus Miss Bunny from Bambi. Okay. So here's an interesting one where you have, these are animals, right? These are not wearing clothes. These are not living in society. It is not you identifying, a societal feature on these animals. You're not projecting a human that you know onto these animals and thinking, oh, they kind of have the demeanor of the, someone I fancy in real life, a human. Bagheera, funnily enough, much more attractive as an actual animated leopard or panther or whatever he is in the Jon Favreau Jungle Book. He's got this kind of goofy face. Actually, I don't like. He's got kind of big chin, which I'm not mad on. But look, he's the cat, so that's pushed him forward there. Someone got in contact and said he gives off big kind of very kind of eloquent, sophisticated, gay energy. Kind of like someone who might meet in a hotel for a cocktail, and somehow just convince you to, to do something with him. He's kind of like that kind of sophisticated kind of Ricky Roma kind of Glengarry Glen Ross kind of vibe, even though he's kind of an eloquent kind of Ben Kingsley kind of character, or kind of Benedict Cumberbatch. He would talk for ages and you'd be like, I don't know what the fuck you said, but Jesus, that's really interesting, But then you have this fucking pin-up, Miss Bunny from Bambi, the kind of lady thumper, the one that has Thumper go, both his feet. And look at this thing. The rouge. The orgasm rouge. Look at the jabs on this thing. Like they knew what they were doing. The cheeks on this thing. They knew what they were doing. And it's like pops up. This is why, literally, this rabbit pops up. Bambi came out in the fucking, 1930s? It's almost 100 years old, right? And this character popped up for a second. And we're still talking about this rabbit. This is a Kate Upton in a bunny. This is Kate Upton in a bunny. That's the kind of vibe. You know what I mean? And it's not fair, right? Because these are the kind of things that makes you think that there is kind of like just the relationships are based around there is a female hotter version of your species, and they will be very forthcoming just to be attracted to you. That it'll be that simple. It'll just be that simple. You'll see a female of your species who's up for it, and she'll make it clear that she's up for it because she'll look over and stamp her feet like a fucking rabbit. And then you go over and you say, will you meet me? And then the rest. This is what we're led to believe. We're not led to believe that, and this is not what you want. You don't necessarily want to have the same species of you that's just hotter, that's kind of subservient to your needs. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think that's fair. Having said that, Miss Bunny fucking get it. Miss Bunny would get it. Miss Bunny would get it. It could never work with us unless I was shrunk down in the VR headset. Bagheera could make sense. Bagheera, if he was in real life and a woman, ideally, would get it. Okay, next up. Okay, so that means that you have, oh my God! It's Bunny v. Bunny. Judy Hopps versus Miss Bunny in the quarterfinals. Very, very exciting times. Okay. Next up we have my first real crush. She was my first big crush. Was Maid Marian from Robin Hood. Maybe like redheads for the first, I remember going into bloody junior infants, right? And seeing a redheaded girl and thinking she is beautiful. She is like Maid Marian. I want to be with that girl. And you know what that girl turned out to be? Bloody Claire Balding on Instagram. Influencer. And now friend of mine. We're not in, we're all good friends now. No hard feelings. But it was based on Maid Marian. Just this kind of kindness and the red and just the eyelashes. Just the eyelashes. I'm a sucker. She is not even necessarily glamour. I don't know what she's got. Obviously, she's got fucking tits under her head. That's obviously great as well. I'm into that, you know. But similarly, with another big tit under her head, Dumbo's mum. Dumbo's mum. What she got under that hat, what she got under the jacket. When you have clothes, it creates the you know. I wouldn't want to see Dumbo's going out, you know, Dumbo's mum going out in the nip, you know. A bit of intrigue. What is under that thing on her back? The cloak, you know. Lovely eyelashes. And Maid Marian is kind of serving. Maid Marian is kind of a nerd as well. Like she's kind of like not. She's so nice that she's kind of like no crack. Not like no crack, but like if she had that personality, you see her dancing. She's like, she dances in it, and she looks like a fucking loser. But she kind of seems like she's kind of like eager to kind of muck in and help, and she's very supportive and very nice to everyone, you know. She's giving me kind of like Bryce Dallas Howard kind of energy, you know. Like I think Bryce Dallas Howard is a very good actor, and I think she's a good director, as we've seen directing 2 phenomenal episodes of Mandalorian. But she doesn't seem to have a kind of edge or any kind of. This personally, she's a peer, of course, fellow director. But that's the kind of vibe I'm getting off Maid Marian. I'm not having to go Bryce Dallas Howard. I like Bryce Dallas Howard, but I don't, you know. It doesn't seem very funny. It doesn't seem very funny, you know. So that, and then you got Dumbo's mom. I don't want to say who would be the kind of who would be the female counterpart to Dumbo's mom. That wouldn't be very nice. No offense to Dumbo's mom. Yeah, like I mean, I can't even like, you know, it could never work with me and Dumbo's mom. You know, I don't want to have another kid. No, that's not true. But I don't want to, you know, I don't want to adopt a fucking elephant. You know what I mean? Big-eared freak. Fucking freak, son. Yeah, you can get it, love, but your freak son has to wait outside. Fucking, I'll be the evil stepfather of Dumbo. You'll be glad to know, you big-eared twat, that me and your mom are getting married. No, I'm not into, you know. Although I said this on the podcast before, you know the scene where Dumbo's getting bullied by the ugly kid. And he's like, "You big ears, you fucking big ears," in the fucking state of that kid's ears, right? Slagging Dumbo, and then Dumbo's mom goes mad, you know, and then she gets locked up, and she's having to rock him in the fucking thing. Like I saw that when I worked in the zoo. There was this fucking kid shouting at the tapirs like anteaters. He's like, "You fucking long-nosed twat, long-nosed wanker," like spitting at this tapir. And I wasn't even, you know, I wasn't in any kind of sense of authority. I was just going around with a fucking hairnet on, with a fucking afro would look like underneath, because I had so much hair at the time. I had to put this hairnet on, and I looked like a fucking afro with a hat like gingerly placed on top, like, because I couldn't. That's what you had to do. In case one hair goes in a fucking burger, you have to look like you have a fucking afro with a tiny fucking train conductor hat. And so I had to be like, "Hey, don't be fucking having to go with the taper." Do you know what I mean? So I can, you know, I know I've seen firsthand what it is. I want to fucking talk about Maid Marian. Maid Marian can get it. Maid Marian would be number one, but now I realize when you get the other birds in this that she doesn't really have that much of a personality. Like Robin Hood, and she looks exactly like Robin Hood. It's like Milhouse's parents. Like, what's going on there? You know what I mean? That's an episode of The Simpsons they need to do. Milhouse's parents turn out to be related, right? And they need to address the fact that Smithers used to be black. So an episode where Smithers is black, and he has to kind of get back into his African American heritage, and he's like trying to adopt the culture. Is that bad? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter anyway. Next up. So who's that? Is that? Okay, so that is Maid Marian through to the quarterfinals. Next up. So we got Turk from Tarzan. Okay. Turk's kind of like this kind of, you know, androgynous, maybe gay, maybe a lesbian, because, you know, Turk's a she. It was played by Rosie O'Donnell. I might sue Rosie, I might not. You know, you know, it's kind of serving up kind of cool, kind of maybe gay, but kind of cool, kind of best friend kind of vibes. Do you know what I mean? She's funny, kind of cool, kind of Kate McKinnon kind of vibe. You know, she's kind of wisecracking. But let me tell you this: I can't even. Turk does not come close to who I have in here. Again, small bit player on a level of Miss Bunny. You got the fucking squirrel, the Randy squirrel from Sword in the Stone. You might remember Arthur turns into a squirrel temporarily. This squirrel comes out the fucking gate with a horn so sharp it could pierce a stone. A sword in a stone. This squirrel is just like, this is like Pepe Le Pew, but you want them to come, you know. Pepe Le Pew is like chasing after the cat, molesting the cat. You know, when the cat goes meow, molesta. That's what Pepe Le Pew's doing. Remember, he's a member of the CCF community. But this squirrel is chasing after Arthur, like, and she's got lovely big eyes. She kind of looks like Ana de Armas from Blade Runner and Knives Out. You know, Ana de Armas kind of vibe. You know, and I should be so lucky as to have an Ana de Armas squirrel coming after me. There is no competition here. Turk, you're a fine woman, but I'm sorry, you do not come close to the Randy squirrel from Sword and Stone. Again, small player, but I mean, I don't even want to call her a dampy because she's so small. Can you even call this one a dampy? So this is gross. This is gross. But I don't know how it was going to be any other way. Did you think I was just going to allude to the fact that I fancy these animals? No, I have to. This is the only way to do it. All right. This is the only way to do it. Oh, that means, right. Oh my God. In the next round, you have the Randy squirrel from Sword in the Stone versus Maid Marian from Robin Hood. That is going to be stacked. Okay, where are we at now? How many are we in here? Okay, next up, from two films we've already had, Bambi and Robin Hood. We got Bambi's ma. Bambi's mom has got it going on. And we got Robin from Robin Hood. A lot again. It seemed that Robin Hood, the ladies were just as thirsty for Robin Hood as the boys were for Maid Marian. And Bambi's mom is just an absolute svelte specimen. The eyes on her. Most deers in real life are nice looking, you know. I wouldn't anything out. Never outside of VR would I ever. But she's a bit of an older woman. I kind of had likened her to a bit of a Susan Sarandon, but I actually think that she does die quite young. So I think she'd which just lives on the legacy, you know, like, oh man, how hot was Bambi's mom? I never got any of that action. Why did that hunter have to take Bambi's mom? I never got to tap that. You know what I mean? But Bambi's mom, I kind of more of a kind of Gillian Anderson, this sophistication to her, you know, but like kind of Scully age. And then Robin Hood, he's a good looking guy, but you know, he's actually quite goofy. I remember him being much handsomer. Now, he does have the nice kind of furry arms that look like they're muscles. He's got a nice shirt. The shirt looks nice on him. You know, he's funny. He's interesting. I would kind of view him. I was thinking originally kind of Luke Wilson, but I think someone who'd be better than that. Kind of a Chris Pratt. Not as buffy and not as, you know, gaudy. Maybe a Chris Pine. He'd be a Chris Pine, I think. Yeah, Robin Hood. He'd be more of a Chris Pine. And look, Bambi's mom is hot. Bambi's ma is a smoke show. You know? Smoke and gun show. And maybe she doesn't deserve to live being that hot. Do you know what I mean? Speaking of hey, am I a fish trying to hook up with Ariel? Because I'm fucking floundering for content here to talk about this fucking shit. Look, I also kind of dug Robin Hood. I actually dug Robin as well. I wouldn't kick him out of bed. I wouldn't mind rolling over to him, giving him a bit of a spoon, getting a little tickle off his tail. And Bambi's mom, it's too much comes with the baggage again. You know, she has the kid and everything, you know. And the kid is like a stag as well. He's trying to fight me. I'm not Bambi. I'm talking about. I'm not interested. So Bambi, with the greatest respect, Bambi's mom. You're fucking dead again, bitch. I shouldn't have said bitch. And hang on, some people are also dead here. Who's dead? Bagheera, well, I'd probably make a lovely rug out of him. Have him in front of a fireplace. Be really nice. Dumbo's mom, can you get ivory out of ladies? Make a nice piano out of her. I would... Maybe one of those, like, the seats, you know? You have a... Nah, I'd let her... Look, go on. Go on. Go on. Before I change my fucking mind, go on. Get. Take your fucking big-eared freak. Would you? Okay, go away. Turk, I'd have as a little friend. I'd let live and have as a little friend. But you got to be careful now, because if you have your own, you can't have apes in homes. They rip off your face and they tear off your hands. So you can't be messing with chimps. That's sinewy fucking strength. And your one had her face ripped off, famously, and she had the face transplant. She had drugged the chimp and was bringing it into her car, and then it freaked and tore off. I don't want to talk about this anymore. And then Bambi again. She rises. What was that? Oh, you actually want to know? Get dead. Okay, how many is that now? Okay, that is... Okay, last one of this contest, and then we'll see what happens in the next episode. Get ready for the next episode. Hey. Okay, so you've got, to be perfectly honest, one of my first crushes, and I don't want to... It's embarrassing. It stirred feelings in me in a bit of a weird way, I'm not going to lie. And that is Kaa, the snake, who's a fella, whatever, from the Jungle Book. The song Trust in Me is a very sexy song. It's this whole hypnosis kind of thing, this whole suggestive kind of vibe. I don't like that something stirred in me, but I can't take it away, so I have to fess up to it. Kaa, look, you did it. And I'm so glad they brought in ScarJo for the Jon Favreau version. I'm like, oh, that's kind of what the vibe they were going for. It was Scarlett Johansson the whole time. It was guys, you know the hot snake from Jungle Book, the original Jungle Book. Turns out it was Scarlett Johansson the whole time, guys. So it's fine that it's fine if I got to, I didn't, but I couldn't maintain them then, back at that age. So you got Kaa, the snake, and one I wasn't familiar with, but once I found out about her, oh my god, did I go down a bloody deep dive? Vixie from Fox and the Hound. This is the hot vixen that I've never seen Fox and the Hound. But this, when the fox gets kind of separated with the hound, I don't fucking know what happened. The fox goes into the woods, sees this Vixie, and look at this bird. This is proper, voluptuous vulpine. Is that a fox? Voluptuous vulpine. Hang on, talk amongst yourselves there for a second. Vulpine. Yep. Yes. Voluptuous vulpine is Vixie. She's got the eyes. She's got the demeanor. She's got the fucking jabs. This is a Christina Hendricks of foxes. That's fucking Jesus. I'm being so... I don't mean to be objectifying women as well here. So you got kind of this Darren Brown sexiness from Kaa, and then the kind of Christina Hendricks voluptuous fox energy. I'm sorry to do this. I didn't know Vixie. I'm not familiar with Vixie, the vixen. I know Kaa. I know the feelings that he, until it became Scarlett Johansson, stirred in me. And it's not on a level where it's a goofy looking fucking snake. It was not meant to stir. I don't know what it was. But Kaa is sexier to me. I respect it. I don't fancy him. I do not want him. Or them. God. This would have been an uncomfortable podcast for me to do without a video here. So this is just... Anyway, Kaa the snake. Kaa the snake can get it. Vixie, with the greatest respect to you, again, I don't want to murder Vixie. You may leave. No, hang on, I might kill her. What'll I do? I don't know. I'll come back to it. Okay, wow, right. That means that you have got Robin Hood versus Ka the Snake in the quarterfinals. Okay. All right. So that is part 1. Don't worry, there's another 8 scraps, another 16 combatants to get in to the quarterfinal of the Great Disney Fuck Off, which is what I'm calling this. So just to clarify, this is already who is through to the quarterfinal. You got Roxanne. All she wanna do is goofy all night. So Roxanne, the lovely Roxanne, kicked the shit out of Flounder, fucking left. Stupid big nose fucking fish twat is not through. The dog from Beauty and the Beast has mauled, has been led into the chicken coop, and Lady Cluck is no more. Judy Hopps, the beautiful Judy Hopps, very attractive rabbit from Zootopia is through. The other penguins are fucking dead. I don't know what I did to them again. You got Miss Bunny beating Bagheera, the very sexy, svelte, gay icon that is Bagheera. Miss Bunny, one cameo. The Kate Upton of Bambi has gone through to the next round. Dumbo's mom has suffered another bloody travesty. Not only was she jailed and had her son removed, she lost to Maid Marian, my first crush in this tournament, and Maid Marian is through to the next round. You have got the Hot Squirrel, the cameo appearing Hot Squirrel from Sword in the Stone, who beat Turk from Tarzan, Turk the gorilla from Tarzan. You've got Robin Hood beating Bambi's mom again and again. She will not fucking stop dying. And Robin Hood, Hot Robin Hood, is through to the next round. And then you have, in a major upset, we'll say a lot of people, Ka the Snake, the Derren Brown of the Disney Animal Kingdom, beating the hottest fox. No, that's not true. Yeah, we can have another fucking fox in here as well. Vixie, the voluptuous vulpine from The Fox and the Hound. Very exciting stuff. So to close out this part 1, I do have some interesting stories of people got in touch about their first crushes, their first Disney or leave it, Gary. Animal crushes. So here we go. I love this one so much. This is from Tara Elizabeth. Thank you very much, Tara, for sending this in. I used to call the Cocoa Pops monkey my boyfriend when I was really young. My name in the box. That's my boyfriend. My boyfriend. That's so. I find that so funny. Thank you, Tara, for sending that in. I know he's not a Disney character, but still, no. Thank you very much for sending that in. This person has asked to remain anonymous. And on the topic of Vixie, the voluptuous vulpine, they have written this. When we were younger, we got a copy of The Fox and the Hound on VHS from my granny, since it was the only VHS we had. I mean, at the end of the day, do you know what I'm having a go at you, but we never called them VHS back then. We called them videos. Do you know what I mean? Not having a go. Since it was one of the only VHS tapes we had, my siblings and I used to watch the film every day, The Fox and the Hound. Which seems mental now, as it's one of the saddest, most depressing tales ever committed to film. But also probably explains why today I'm such a horrible, miserable bastard. Anyway, when Todd, the male fox, gets dropped off in the woods on his own by the old woman, he eventually meets Vixie, the sexy lady fox. She had a slender figure, big, beautiful, doomy eyes, fluttering eyelashes, some carefully applied eyeliner, a cheeky grin, narrower waist, and wider hips than Todd, a furry breast and a big, soft, bushy tail. She looked sweet and innocent, but she definitely had a devilishly dark side. Possibly into rimming or water sports. I would like to commit her for your suggestion. Thank you very much. Well, look, thank you very much for sending that in. Unfortunately, we got too many. We can't believe move for the hot foxes in this tournament. So I'm sorry, This person has not made it through. All right, next up we have got. Okay, next up, another person who was asked to remain anonymous. Look, this is fine. You can be anonymous first. You know what I mean? This is all about coming forward about your attraction to animated animals. And then the next step would be, admitting it by applying your own name. Not a Disney character per se, but I do remember my earliest memory of getting HAAARD, hieroglyphical animated animal arousal reaction to a drawing. Anyway, getting hard, being directly caused by Candy Kong from Donkey Kong 64. The game was Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo. I think it's Donkey Kong 64. Yeah, Not Donkey Kong Country. I'm just going to correct you there, mate. I'm just going to fucking correct you there. I was just a boy, maybe 9 or 10 years old. My life up until this point had been rather pure and innocent. Uninflected. Uninfected, I think you meant, if you will. This was until I stuck the cartridge in the console, and just like that dust-filled cartridge, my mind and my pants were blown that day. There she stood at the save point in front of this candy-striped stand, my mouth ajar as I fixated directly on her 64-bit bosom. A weird enchantment fell over me with every kiss she blew in my direction, like the swinging of a hypnotist's watch. How I yearned to be a vine in which she swung upon. I'd spend hours on that save screen, too young to know why I was feeling this way, but old enough to know that I liked it. Eventually, though, Christmas rolled around and I upgraded to a PlayStation 1, I was now a man, and my attention turned to the arousing depiction of the actual human entities in the form of Tomb Raider's Lara Croft or SmackDown's Trish Stratus. But every now and again, when I come in contact with candy-striped decor or Primate, or the primate part of the zoo, I'm immediately brought back to that sweet, sweet moment where all of my innocence was snatched from me, like a banana, snatched from its peel. The raw, primitive arousal. If only you could save me now, my original Candy Crush, my Queen Kong. I would love to say who you are, because that is phenomenal prose. I just didn't read it the best way. Thank you very much for sending that in. Okay. Again, wants to remain anonymous. I got my first semi to Princess Atta from A Bug's Life. I used to baby Mickey with the TV remote because I felt such shame at being attracted to a fucking ant. Thank you very much for for sending that in. She had those Bella Hadid cheekbones, and she was voiced by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I used to watch it before school and then pretend to feel sick because I couldn't go junior infants with a stand-up willy. Thank you very much for sending that in. Again, anonymous person. Thank you very much for the courage. And thank you very much, everyone who submitted a story, everyone who suggested animals for me to put into this most fuckable Disney animal tournament. This is just part 1. Part 2 is going to be over on the Patreon. So if you like this, and even if you want to support this podcast, regardless if you want to hear the next one, you can go over there on Patreon for the equivalent of the price of a pint a month. You can get like 30-something podcasts over there, and they're every single Friday. So on Friday, we're going to have part 2 over there. But don't worry, if you're not in the position to give, don't worry, because the quarterfinals will be on next Tuesday, and you'll be able to see exactly who made it through to those rounds. So don't you worry about that. And thank you very much for supporting this. If you are a Patreon subscriber, or just if you're a casual fan, thank you very much. Thank you for supporting me in the video, the Bake Off video. Because of that, I'm doing this one on video as well. And look, I will probably see you on Thursday with the Bake Off podcast. I'll see you on Friday on the Patreon, and if not, I'll see you next Tuesday on here. All the best. It's only a shit show.